Hi, and welcome to another episode of Piano TV. So today we are going to talk about dots and what dots mean and how they work. Understanding the function of a dotted note, I think, is way more useful than memorizing like every single dotted note separately. So that's the focus of today's video. This is a two-part video, so this one focuses on the easier dotted notes, and then the next video is going to focus on the quicker, more difficult dotted notes. So let's get to it. So here I have a few random notes with a dot. So this one in the middle you probably remember gets 3 counts, but you've almost definitely never seen a dotted whole note. And maybe you remember how many counts the dotted quarter note gets. But what the dot does, and this is the function, it adds half of the note's beat to itself. Okay, so let's look at this dotted half note because we already know this guy gets 3. Now the half note by itself just gets 2. And half of 2 is 1. So to figure this out, it's basically like saying a half note plus a quarter note, which equals 3. So let's take a look at the dotted whole note and figure that out. So the whole note by itself gets 4, and half of a whole note is a half note, which gets 2. So a dotted whole note gets 6 beats. And again, let's do the same thing with the dotted quarter note over here. So the quarter note by itself gets 1. The dot is adding half of 1, which would be half. So that's like adding an 8th beat. So the dotted quarter note gets 1.5 beats. All right, so we're just going to do a couple examples here. So counting a dotted half note over here is super easy. We've done it before. In the time signature of 3/4, we're just counting up to 3 in every beat. There's no 8th notes or anything, so there's no need to subdivide the beat. And when we get here, we count to 3, and that's all you got to do. And this, just as a little quick review of a tie means that you just extend the beat. So you'd, instead of pressing that note and then pressing that note, you'd press the first note and then keep holding for an extra 3 beats for a total of 6. Counting a dotted quarter note is just a little bit more tricky, but luckily I did an entire video on this, so you can click the link on the screen if you want to go more in depth with the dotted quarter note and how it works. But we'll just do a little quick review and meander here. So the dotted quarter note gets 1.5 beats. Okay, so when we're in 4/4 time, this is going to be the first 2 beats over here, and the dotted notes in general are usually paired with the they're missing half to make them complete. So if we add 1.5 plus half, this whole situation over here equals 2 beats. So since we have 8th notes involved, we're going to subdivide the beat so that we don't have notes just floating in space. So this gets the 3rd beat. And to make it say that it gets 1.5 beats, we're going to go 3 and 4, each of these representing a half beat. And then this last one gets the last half beat. So just so this 1 and 2 doesn't feel lonely, we're going to add some ands in there too. And then same thing over here. So this gets 1 and, the first beat, 2 and, the second beat. And now this is kind of reversed. This gets the start of the 3rd beat, and this gets the other 3 half beats. So this gets and, 4, and, because each of these points represents 1 half beat, and on and on and on. And just so you can hear what that sounds like, I'm gonna do what I do in my studio. We're gonna clap it out, and I'm gonna say the count so you can kind of hear how it all syncs up. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the takeaway is this: the dot adds half of the note's value to itself. So make sure you put that in your brain, because in the next video, we're gonna look at even smaller subdivisions by looking at the dotted 8th note and the dotted 16th note, which is like crazy business. So hopefully you like fractions. All right, thank you for watching this video, and please subscribe if you want to keep up to date, and you can visit pianotv.net as well. Toodaloo. Oh my goodness, it's like a hurricane of leaves outside right now. It's really distracting. Just like out of the corner of my eye, just like, like torrents of leaves.